What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another video here on Tam Fabwell. My name's Tam, and I'm going to be taking us through the entire Super Slam set, broken out video by video, class by class. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to be editing all these together, but when I get it figured out, you're not going to want to miss all of the Super Slam action. A little bit about me before we jump into it. Very new to Flesh and Blood. Played in the past, first like 4 sets, got out of Everfest, and then am now jumping back in, with this being my first release as a Flesh and Blood creator. Primarily play like Warrior and Illusionist, and those are not classes that are inside this set. And so what we're going to be doing is kind of just like my first look, my first impressions, giving my initial thoughts, and then having a conversation either with people here in the YouTube comments and /or people over in my Discord, which you can find a link to that all in the description down below. But without further ado, let's just jump in. It's going to be a long set of videos with how everything is cut up and moved up. So make sure you go and you check out the entire playlist for all of the Super Slam first looks. From here, we've got Pallades Superstar. Instant tap, remove a suspense counter from an aura you control. We'll look at a lot of those later. You may put a suspense counter on an aura of suspense you control. The way that the auras work is the aura suspense, they come in with counters, and some of them want to be destroyed, and some of them want to stay on the field. And so Pallades is all about taking the ones that want to be destroyed by losing the counters and moving them to the ones that want to stick around that will be draining counters as they go. And then whenever the crowd cheers you, create a confidence token, which is a little bit of disruption blocking wise. At the start of your turn, destroy this. Then the next attack action you play this turn cannot be defended by more than 2 non-block cards. This confused me a little bit whenever I first read it. I was like, this makes 0 sense. A block card, there's a specific card type. Like if you look at Pallades, it is Revered Guardian Hero. There's a card that just says the word block on it. And so if you activate it, if a confidence is destroyed, it is active, and its ability is working. They can only block with 2 cards, and that includes cards from hand, cards from arsenal, and their equipment, because equipment are cards. What the workaround for that is if the card is a block type. So I can block with 2 cards out of my hand, and then a block card as well, a card with block type, and I can cover up your confidence token. So it just like puts extra value on those cards, because I know, at least personally, right, getting back into the game, excuse me, block cards have felt significantly insignificant in comparison to defense reactions. A lot of these block cards, they have to be played out of hand. You get some bonus on block or whatnot, but you're not allowed to play them from your arsenal. That's a tough spot to play them from. And so they're kind of, if I draw the block card on like, and I didn't use it on the previous turn, and it kind of sits in my hand, and I IP myself. Intellect penalty. I did not efficiently use my entire hand, and so they feel a little bad there, because I can't just like stick in my arsenal like I can defense reactions. So the fact that confidence is letting us utilize block cards and make them feel better to use, you might see an upswing in them, as long as the on block ability is relevant. From here, we've got the Revered Guardian equipment. It's a chess piece, Plate of Tough Love. It's got a 1 block, if you control a confidence, and a toughness token. This gets +2. Again, very easy for Pallades to figure out. When the crowd cheers you, find the confidence token. But when the game plan is, how do I find the toughness token? And then again, it is a 3 block from our stage rather than a 3 block from our hand. Guardians like to have a lot of hand advantage, so they can pitch a bunch of things and then slam a big, tall move at you. I'm thinking 10, 12, 15 damage on a singular move. What you pay for those is by cards in hand. So being able to block with a full card from your equipment seems like exactly what the Guardian is going to want. I will say, though, I think the chess piece is pretty luck solid for a lot of Guardians. Either the one that makes you the Seismic Surge or Findale Spring Tunic. So I think this one is a little tough for us to say it's better than those, but if you're fighting against an aggro deck in a very clutch spot, maybe the plate is where it's at. I don't know. The Seismic Surges, if you don't get 3 of them often and use them effectively, then it is not as good as holding a blue 3 block, where this plate of tough love could come in handy. I think it just depends. Probably not going to see much play, but it's be. Cries of Encore. It's a red 3-cost 7 damage move. Great breakpoint with a 3 block. When this hits a hero, if you have less health than them, the crowd cheers you. So we'll make a confidence token for our follow-up turn. If you've been cheered this turn, which this card asks and answers the question, this gets, when it hits a hero, you may play an Aura of Suspense from your graveyard this turn. So you draw a card, and it's whatever card you want out of your discard pile. This is crazy. As you're about to see, there are so many really good suspense cards that just playing them out for free is really, really good. Things that like make your cards cost less, or when destroyed, give your next ones more damage. And so the fact that we get to bring an Aura of Suspense out, it could even be the difference between using Pallades to keep a suspense card that you want on the board and keep it around for another turn, because of using the instance to take it off of this fresh one and put it on the one you already have. A lot of cool choices here for Cries of Encore. I think it's going to absolutely, a 3 cost for 7 is like very good, and then we get all of this upside from it. I'm down. I'm so in for this one. Thespian Charm. This is Pallades, basically Pallades specialization. Yellow cost 0 to play Revered Guardian instant. Destroy a Might or Vigor token. These are tokens that my rivals normally create. And then the crowd cheers you, so we get our confidence token. And then return an aura permanent you control to its owner's hand. Again, the entire idea for Pallades is she wants some of these auras to break, and she wants some of these auras to stick around. And the suspense counters are constantly ticking down, waiting for that explosion to happen, the firework to go off. Thespian Charm lets you, when a card is about to break, pick it back up and then replay it. And also, on all of the auras that say, they all say when this leaves the arena, which they'll do naturally by the suspense counters pulling down, this returns it to your hand. It leaves the arena, so its ability will trigger. You have the card in hand either to pitch it to play something cool, or I will now play it back out, and then I have it. The suspense is piling back up again, aptly named. And so like this is I need to trigger this aura right now. I'm gonna pay the card out of my hand to do it. Love this, and the crowd cheers you. So then like your crowd cheers abilities like work. This card's huge, I think, in Pallades, as long as you're okay with having this non-block yellow card in your deck, which I think so, as somebody who I think Pallades game plan looks cool. From here, we have up on a pedestal, we've got our first suspense card here. It's a blue, it's a 0 cost. It blocks for 2, aura instants that block for 2. As a Prism player, this is unheard of. We're not instants are not allowed to block. So the suspense says, and I'm not going to repeat this for every suspense, it enters the arena with 2 suspense counters. At the start of your turn, remove a suspense counter. When it has none, destroy it. And so now we get to come all the way back over here. Pallades' entire game plan is juggling your suspense counters, putting it on the auras that you want or don't want, so that you can have things stick around, or again, leave the stage as we need to. When this enters or leaves the arena, you may put a Revered or Guardian attack action card from your graveyard on top of your deck. Hey, this really good Cries of Encore that I hit you with last turn, I'm going to play up on the pedestal, I'm going to put it on top of my deck, and my following turn, I'm going to hit you again with it. And this Cries of Encore, I cheered. It's also going to have the confidence attached to it because I hit you with it last turn. This card, I think, is a 4 of. When it enters and leaves the arena, it's got these crazy triggers. It's just constantly stacking your deck to play the same potent attack over and over and over and over again. There's no reason not to be playing this one. It's a 3. The only issue with it is it's a 2 block, but it's an instant that blocks for 2. I'm so down. I'm in. We're gonna be playing this one for sure. This one's so good. From here, we've got Turning Point. I love the aesthetic of the Guardians so much. It's so sick. A weapon bigger than their whole body, and they're fighting some monstrous beast. It's sick. This is a 3 pitch. It's a blue. It does not have a cost because if you look down here, it is a block. Again, we go back to our confidence token. You're allowed to block with 2 cards plus turning point. There's that block card we were talking about. When this defends, if you have less health than the attacking hero, the crowd cheers you. Yes, we'll get that confidence token. While this is defending, if you've been cheered this turn, it gets +3. So it's normally for 2, but if you're losing the game health-wise, you get the confidence token. And it blocks for 5. Great. Absolutely wonderful. Beautiful use of best while behind mechanics, which I think are very cool as like a catch-up mechanic of I'm going to win the game eventually, but I'm the good guy. I'm supposed to take my licks first, and then we come back for a sweeping victory. Great thematics on the revered cards. From here, we've got uplifting performance. It's a 3 difficulty blue, 5 power with a 3 block. If you control a confidence or toughness token, this gets +1. So it goes from 5 to 6. And then when this hits a hero, create a confidence and toughness token. So this says vigor on here. I miscopy and pasted it. So that's my bad. This is supposed to say see confidence. So we can see what it looks like. But we saw confidence back here. So, I think this card is not that great. I think 3 for 5 is a little tough to come by. But if I can pull this off and I can find that and I can make this thing land, whether we've stacked a confidence on top of it, or we have a dominate effect or something along those lines, or my rival just like really wants to keep their hand, like just creating the confidence and the toughness to make my defense a little better and my offense a little better on my following turns, is good. It is good, but it feels like something that I'm gonna leave at home because 3 costs for 5 power just is not quite doing it for me. Just not quite doing it for me. From here, we've got a revered equipment. Aesthetically, the fact that it's got like the half covered on his eye is so cool. Like as like a helmet design, it's sick. It's so cool. Helm of the Adored. 1 block. When this defends, the crowd cheers you. So Pallades is going to make a confidence, and Tough Nut is going to make a toughness. He's tough. He makes toughness. And then Blade Break. So like if you need the crowd to cheer you on this turn to gain the token and then go on, I think it's fine. I think that like this card for these classes is probably where I would be at most of the time, unless like the random generic ones are like kind of crazy. I know Brute has one that's like intimidate a card out of their hand, but I don't really care about that. I do think like getting the toughness to say the rest of my blocks are like a little cleaner is cool for the I guess the following turn. So I get the toughness now, and then it goes to my turn. I still have the toughness, so all if I have a toughness effect works, and then I go back to your turn, and then it breaks, and then my blocks are good. So I guess it is like as a plan pretty far ahead for the Helm of the Adored to work, specifically in Tough Nut. But in Pallades, hey, I got this big move I want to just send at you. I'll block this one. I'll grab my confidence counter, and then I'll just like slam the move, which seems pretty good. From here, we've got the revered equipment arms. Hold firm. Action. Pay 3. So pitch a blue. Destroy this. Create 3 toughness tokens. Activate only if you have less health than each other hero. So in the multiplayer format, you gotta be the lowest of the group. In the 1v1, you gotta be lower than your rival. Go again. Blade Break. So it is create 3 toughness tokens, or this thing blocks for 1 in a pinch. I like this a lot for Tough Nut on a turn that like you feel like you actually have to hold your whole hand. I will just activate Tough Nut on my turn, pitch my free one, grab the hold firm, and then like be good for the turn. Like that's okay. And then I'll draw my 3, and then all of these are going to be blocking for 3 extra. It means that you're probably not going to kill me, so I can block really efficiently and then push some sort of onslaught back. Great use of it. When it comes to Pallades, though, unless there's some reason that we really need all 3 toughness tokens, I guess, like, you know, turning your 3 blocks into 6 blocks, it's good for playing these really tall ideas. So I guess that's just like an acceptable rate to put them on. This card's probably fine. I think it's a common slot. I think it's creative, and that'll be the points that it gets. It gets to be creative. Okay. From here, we have the Crowd Goes Wild. This card's nuts, I think. It's a blue with 3 cost, 6 damage, 3 block. If you've been cheered this turn, this costs 3 less to play. So if you've been cheered this turn, it's a 0 cost for 6, which is just very good, especially in a character like Tough Nut, where I will commit my character, or tap my character, pitch the top. It's a 6. I'm cheered, so I get my toughness. It's a blue, so I get my things, and then I just sling 6 for free. Like, this is just like the freest 6 damage of all time, and I've got 3 extra to do things with. So like I can set up other ideas, right? I can play actions beforehand and then go for the Crowd Goes Wild. Obviously, it's very good in Tough Nut. It's got his big dumb face on it. So this card is very cool. My only issue is that it's yellow, and so to do this idea, and then like I use Tough Nut, and then I pitch this my own Crowd Goes Wild off the top, and I go, crowd didn't like that. No cheer. I guess it's a 6. They did cheer me, so it's easy. Okay, I'm actually in. I'm actually so in. I don't get the 3 resources. I'm actually so in. I'm so in. This card's great. This card's so good. I think this card's better than the Revered Brute one. This one's sick. I'm in. This one's dope. No hero stands alone. It's a yellow, 3 cost, 6 power, 0 block. While this is in any zone, if you've controlled a toughness token this turn, this gets +3 in ambush. Okay, let's talk about timing. So when I go to my rival's turn, I own the toughness token during the turn, and then it breaks. And so this does not block for 3, it blocks for 4 because my toughness token broke. And then it's allowed to exist in my arsenal, so it's a very good last ditch to here. So I can play it, defend with it, and / or I can just swing with it if it ever gets back to me. When this defends clash, so we both look at the top card of our deck. Whoever has the highest damage card revealed this way wins the clash. The winner may choose an attack or defending card to get -3/-3 this chain link. So when I am defending with this card, it says that your move gets -3. Whoa. Choose an attacking or defending card to get -3/-3. I don't know why I would ever choose a defending card to get -3/-3. Like, why would I ever do that? I must be missing something. The winner? Oh, the winner. The winner. So if they win, it reduces my block. I'm now caught up. That's why we're clashing. We're clashing, and then if you win, I get punished because the hero will stand alone. Okay, I get it. I get it now. I'm all caught up. This card seems crazy. If you can figure out the hoop to jump through of making the toughness token, it is just everything that you want to be doing when it comes to like the revered character. You got to make a toughness, and this card is absolutely nuts with it. It's so good. I'm into that one. A good clean fight. It's a red 3. 7 damage move, grab breakpoint, blocks for 3. If this is attacking a hero, non-equipment cards they own lose and can't gain abilities, period. This includes all auras, this includes all characters, this includes all items. This card is so cool. What a scary card to be playing into if you are playing against a revered hero. 3 for 7 that says, hey, you have to be you gotta play against me honest. All these prism auras, they don't ward any longer, but it also does mean that you can just take the 7 damage and keep all of your transformed angels and all of your spectral shields around. It says that it also like my rivals, I guess at the start of their turn their toughness would have broken, but it says things that like embodiment of earth tokens are significantly worse because they don't activate. Interesting. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot going on here for a good clean fight, and I think it might be like one of my favorite flavor designed cards that I've seen so far, just because of like the idea of a good clean fight and then like no tricks, play the real game. That's very cool. It's very, very cool. Non-equipment cards. You know what this means? This also means that like the defense reactions don't trigger. So like if I play a defense reaction, I'm not allowed to like sync blow or anything, because like it's blank. It just doesn't do anything. Block cards are blank, right? As we look back at this, like this card's just blank. It doesn't clash. It doesn't do any of this. It's just a 0 block now. So a good clean fight, just like no hero beats, no hero stands alone. That's cool. That's cool. All right, I'm in. That's sick. All right, Escalate Order. It's a red, 2 difficulty, 6 damage move, 3 block. When this attacks, if you control a toughness token, create 3 more. Again, asking the question, how do I jump through the hoop? How do I get cheered as Tough Nut to then play the Escalate Order and then grab more? The easy answer is, you commit Tough Nut, pitch the top card. It was 6. I've cheered. I play the Escalate Order. I now have 4 toughness. So my cards that normally block for 3 are now blocking for 7. That seems actually insane in that character. It seems so crazy. But I think it's also okay in Pallades as well, as long as you figure out how to get the toughness, because 2 for 6 doesn't quite have to go again, but like setting yourself up for defense to keep hands, like 1 card blocking hands, is good. It's just all in all good. And so if you can figure out, again, jump through the hoop, find the toughness, you'll be a-okay. From your old favorite, it's a yellow 3 cost, 6 power for 3. We're gonna see that a ton. When this attacks, if you've been cheered this turn, create a toughness token. Love that. When this defends, if it has 6 or more defense, put it on the bottom of the owner's deck when the combat chain closes. So this card says that if I have 3 toughness tokens, I then get to take, and when I block with it, I put it on the bottom of my deck to stop fatigue ideas. And so if I can constantly keep up these toughness tokens, as long as I have a blue and old favorite, I'll never deck out. I do have to figure out the puzzle of how do I get this to 6 or more defense. But like with cards like this, it feels kind of easy to make old favorite kind of rock solid. Neat card. It seems a little tough of a hoop to jump through, but if you are nervous and you are worried about fatigue, this is a great tool for you. From here, I've got Tame the Beastly Behavior. It's a red 3 cost, 7 power, 3 block. When this attacks a reviled hero, specifically a reviled hero, it gets +1 damage. So it's for 8. When this hits a reviled hero, put a card from their arsenal on the bottom of their deck. So basically CNC. 3 cost CNC that swings for 8 versus 2 characters in the game. I think this card's very cool in your sideboard if you just don't own CNCs. But 2 for 6 is way better than 3 for 7, possibly 8. And then if there are 2 characters in the entire game, you CNC them. Like it's not gonna, like it's whatever. If they just like randomly printed 4 more reviled heroes, I think this card would see plenty of play. But as is, it just seems like really kind of wishy-washy. Renounce Violence. I think, again, spectacular art. It is a blue, cost 0, revered instant. Destroy up to 3 might tokens, period. Create a toughness token for each token destroyed this way. The reviled heroes make might tokens pretty efficiently. And so breaking their might, as you see like a very obvious villainous looking character on the card, you're getting rid of his might to create toughness for you, the good guy, the hero. Again, gives me big swords to plowshares kind of ideas of like the villain is taking a second to like understand the beauty of their world. Poetic LSS. A+ on the art. This is sick. This is good art. But yeah, I dig this card. Again, creating, if it said like destroy any 3 tokens to create that many of a thing, I think I'd be down. But and even like make it cost something, right? Like being able to like get rid of non-might tokens would be very cool. But the flavor of might tokens for toughness tokens makes sense. From here we got Never Give Up. I've heard a lot about this card. It is an instant. It's a yellow. Does not have a difficulty because it is a block card. Blocks for 3 organically, but it says instant. Pay 2. Put this on the bottom of your deck. Target defending action card gets +3 this chain link. So it's kind of like you're taking this card and you're blocking with it out of your discard pile. Kind of. But you're just like increasing that one, which has implications in the game. Activate this only while it's in your graveyard. You have less health than each other hero. And you've been cheered this turn. So 3 hoops to jump through. But if you jump through them, you just get to like play this block for free. Like play a bonus card out of your discard pile, essentially, right? A bonus card's worth of value. This card is so cool, and I cannot wait to see matches happen on stream in like major callings where the last point of damage is what's going to matter, and a Never Give Up is the thing that saves. Like, I can just imagine the casters going absolutely crazy about this play. Super excited. Is it a 3 of in your deck? No, I don't think so. I could be proven wrong, but I think the in your graveyard less health you've been cheered on your rival's turn seems like a bit of a stretch to accomplish. But if you need it, Never Give Up defensively seems really cool. From here, we've got our first slew of cards. All 3 colors for Comeback Kid. It's a 3 cost, 7/6/5 for red, yellow, blue. And then when this attacks a hero, if you have less health than them, kind of a theme for the Revered heroes, the crowd cheers you. We love that. If you've been cheered, it gets +1. So from here, really big fan of the yellow and the blue copies of these. Because of if you've been cheered, they become 6 for the blue, 7 for the yellow. I think those breakpoints are great. 8 damage is really good for an attack. Like, it's good, right? But it's not quite the combat blue for 6 we see, or the yellow for 7 that we could see. So I really like those 2 colors. Not in love with the Comeback Kid in red. From here, we've got 3 cards that when I first made this presentation, I thought that they were all the same card until I had to go back and relook and be like, they look so incredibly similar. So we've got Disembody. It's a red cost, red color, 3 cost, 7 power for 3. Another Revered action. When this attacks, if you've been cheered this turn, create a toughness token. We love that. When this defends, if it has 6 or more power, or 6 or more defense, the attacking hero puts an aura they control on the bottom of their deck. An aura token ceases to exist. So on offense, if I've been cheered, my block's a little better. On defense, if I've jumped through a bunch of toughness hoops, I get to say that your turn is significantly worse, putting your auras on the bottom. I think it's totally fine. 3 for 7 is probably an okay rate for this. The question is can you be cheered? Because a blank 3 for 7, not worth it. And a good 3 for 7 to, like, if cheered, make more toughness tokens seems kind of cool. I still think it's going to be a little tough to get those triple toughness tokens going off unless you find, like, the perfect line. In which case, you know, how many times in a game is that going to happen? How can you set it up? For me, we got Disarm. Again, great art. It looks very similar to the last one. It's a yellow 3, 6/3. When this attacks, if you've been cheered this turn, create a toughness token. We've done it. Once this offends and you have 6 or more, the attacking hero puts a card from their hand on the bottom of their deck. So this one, it says Aura on the bottom of their deck. This one says Hand to the bottom of their deck. Makes sense. This one feels way better as an idea of the hoops you have to jump through. I block with this one card, and I might rip a card out of your hand and put it on the bottom. That is less offense for you to, right? It's less offense for you to be playing on this turn if you had more things to do. Probably not very good in the Guardian matchups because they're doing like one thing. But maybe it rips an aura. I guess it wouldn't rip an instant out of hand before they get a chance to play it. But if they play the instance, then they maybe don't get a chance to arsenal. There's certainly a lot of times where disarm is very potent. And then from here, we've got Disperse. It is a blue cost 3, swings for 5. It is 3 block. When it attacks, if you've been cheered, make a toughness token. You can see how I got them all confused. When this defends, if it has 6 or more, the attacking hero puts a card from their arsenal on the bottom of their deck. Feels very much like the Earth action card, which is either like Felling of the Crown or the other one. I don't remember which one is which, but I know I hate both. This is one version of it. This is the other, but on defense rather than on offense. And so it's probably a little bit more fair. And so when I see this, I think that the best of the 3 is probably just Disarm because cards in hand is like really impactful here. It's how you pay for cards, it's how you play cards. But getting rid of that arsenal is probably really cool if they had some follow-up idea, or like if there's like an offensive reaction or something stuck down there. Just getting it off the bottom out of their arsenal seems highly impactful. But again, it's a 3 for 5, so while attacking, yes, I can make the toughness token, but maybe not quite the value that I'm looking for. From here, I've got Fair Fight. It's a red 2, swings for 6, got a 2 block. If this is defended by a reviled card, this gets +1 attack, bumping it up to a 7, which is a great break point. When this hits a reviled hero, put this on the bottom of its owner's deck. Love the thematics here. If you're a dirty, rotten cheat, I'm going to hit you harder. If you're a dirty, rotten cheat, if it hits you, I'm going to put it on the bottom of my deck so I can play it again. I mean, this is very, very good. Seems really cool and limited. Probably not going to see any play in competitive just because your sideboard slots are just so tight. Shining Courage. Love the art of love the aesthetic of this hero in the arena. It's a red revered instant, red for 0. Up to 1 target defending action card gets +3 this turn. The crowd cheers you. So it's kind of like a sigil. It's kind of like a red Sigil of Solace. But it also, as your 2 revered heroes, makes you either a toughness or a courage token, which is pretty good. Or like it itself is a block card. It also says that like your 0 cost blocking cards that we saw in the Brute package earlier, they now block for something, and then the crowd cheers you. And so like a bit of a get out of jail free card, lets you cheer on my rival's turn, so that either your if you've cheered this turn and your blocking ideas is cool. It also says that like if your rival has successfully blocked you out, right? I'm playing a 6 damage move. They're blocking for 6. You could Shining Courage their defense reaction for +3, or their defending action card for +3, and then the crowd will still cheer you. And so it's like trading this card for a cheer, which could be impactful on the next attack or by activating the ability on the thing. And so like there's certainly some ideas of when is the best time to play this card, and it can be a little tricky depending on how you want to utilize this one. A lot of choices here, but I think it's gonna be very good versus the assassin warrior classes because their attack reactions just being like, I'll give it +3, actually I'll defend for 3 more, seems really potent. Will of the Crowd. William of the Crowd. It is a blue-costed revered block, so blocks for 2. When this defends, if you've been cheered this turn, I wonder how we do that. Defending action cards get +3 this chain link. So you use the block, and then you block with an additional card, because this does say chain link, not this whole turn. So on this specific attack, it's essentially you're turning every action card into Shining Courage, but you do have to specifically block with Will of the Crowd. This card seems very, very good if you're trying to block very tall things, especially if you're trying to get around confidence tokens. Confidence is a really easy way to clean up and win the game. Will of the Crowd makes you lose your confidence for sure. I will block for 2, and then these other cards are going to be blocking for 6 each. So like this is a 14 block if we want it to be, if I blocked with Will plus the 2 other cards that I could for my confidence. Here's a 14 block. Seems really solid. Really, really solid. I like this block a lot, and this might be like one of the reasons that I play a Revered hero, because I think this card is very, very solid in them. From here, we have another set of cards. I get the toughness token down in the bottom corner. Dig in. It is red, yellow, blue, 7, 6, 5 swing. When this defends, you may pay up to 3, create that many toughness tokens. So just a really cool on-block trick, just to give you a bunch of toughness tokens so that on the following turn, you can go. I think this card's really cool on the turns where you don't actually have very much that you can do. Your rival's ripped cards in hand or whatever. They're playing a bunch of stuff. So I will block with my dig, block a big tall move, hold my 1 blue left, pitch the blue, make a bunch of toughness tokens, and on my next turn, I know that I get to have a turn. I like this card a lot, specifically in blue, because the dig in can pay for itself. If I could pitch dig in when I block with dig in. I dig this card a lot. I think this one's really, really neat. I think blue's the only one that I could see myself playing. Don't see the red and the yellows making it for the cut. From here, we've got Empowering Ruckus. It is a yellow 3-cost, swings for 6, attack, blocks for 3. If you've been cheered this turn, this gets +1 damage. So if we cheer, it's a 3 for 7 as a yellow. Good stats as a yellow. I think it's totally fine. The fact that it's only coming in 1 color means it's probably pretty decent. If you've been cheered this turn, and again, if we can cheer it like instant speed or whatever, like having it get that +1 over the top seems to be really impactful. Yeah, kind of neat that like it can get this bonus at instant speed, because if you can cheer at instant speed, that's dope. Like Tough Nut can. Tough Nut absolutely can cheer at instant speed. This card's very cool. This card's very cool in that character. Fight from Behind, another set of cards, red, yellow, blue, swings for 6, 5, 4. It's a 2 difficulty, blocks for 2. When this attacks or defends, if you have less health than each other hero, the crowd cheers you. Just a way to get your confidence or toughness tokens on the board. A little under rate with the 2 block, I think, and then like 4, 5, 6 for the reds. Probably like I want my reds to be a little bit more impactful, but again, if you need the crowd to cheer, if your whole deck is about cheering you, then this card is probably acceptable. But like 2 for 4, not a great rate. This might be like where the yellow comes in. I'm unsure. This whole card I'm just like a little iffy about. Not in love with it. And the art's really yucky. I'm not over here trying to look at its dogs the whole time. Rapturous Applause. Great art. Another set of cards, red, yellow, blue. It's a 3 diff that swings for 7, 6, 5 respectively. It's got a 3 block. When you win a clash revealing this, the crowd cheers you. So here's where my unfamiliarity comes out, and that is I don't know how often putting specific when you win a clash with this, you get a thing matters a lot of the time. That's just like my lack of experience playing against or as Guardian. And normally when I play against Guardian, I'm playing as Warrior, and I've never won a clash in my gosh darn life. I just don't do that as that class. And so it's tough for me to understand the value of this, but as we look back here, this is a 2 for 4. This being a 3 for 5 at the blue is probably like at least a better, more acceptable rate, because we want to fill our Guardian deck with a bunch of blues. We even want to fill, our Tough Nut deck with, I guess Tough Nut would want the 6s, so we want yellow or red, but then like we're not getting enough for the 3. Tough to say how good this card is, and I think it's all based on if you win a clash, the crowd cheers you. How often is that going to happen inside of these these decks. How often does Brute even clash? If I could be honest, how often does Brute clash? I have no idea actually. I have no idea. Tough smash up. When this defends, clash with the attacking hero. I see. Here's a slew of cards. Red, yellow, blue. They're attack actions that swing for 7, 6, 5. They all cost 3. When this defends, clash with the attacking hero. The winner creates a toughness token. You may put your revealed card on the bottom of its owner's deck. And so if you would make a toughness token here, and then when you win with this, the Rapture's Applause, you get either a second toughness from Tough Nut, or you get your confidence token from Pallades. If you have like a clashed themed deck, I mean, this seems pretty decent for doing the thing, right? Like when this defends, clash an attacking hero, that your toughness token that you would create is like makes you better at defense. Like you could run 9 of these and just be clashing over and over and over again. It's like making a bunch of toughnesses to make your defensive clashes more impactful, and it just like scales constantly. The real question is yes, you're doing all this cool maneuvering defensively. What's your offensive game plan look like? And I guess it's like 3 for 7 is like a good enough rate for the red to smash it up. Just like sling it, I guess. Another set of cards. We've got Turn the Crowd Grateful. Love the art on this. Love the petals in the air. Red, yellow, blue. They all cost 3, 7, 6, 5 is the damage they do. Blocking for 2 this time. When this deck's a reviled hero, this gets +1. When you hit a reviled hero, the crowd cheers you. So very similar to the card that we saw earlier of I think it was Down But Not Out. Is that the name of that one? Comeback Kid. No, it must have been a different card. Oh, it was Fair Fight. When it's offended by a reviled card, it gets +1 when it hits and put it on the bottom of the deck. Yeah, there's a bit of a this was just when it attacks rather than when it's defended. So I guess the yellow ones of these are probably pretty good, right? I guess specifically against the reviled heroes. But again, there's 2 of those in the whole game. How much CC play is this gonna see? Probably not a ton. Who's the tough guy? Another set of cards. This one costs for 2. It's an attack action. It swings for 7, 6, and 5, respectively. When the combat chain closes, if this didn't hit, the defending hero creates a toughness token. Love this in red. Not a fan of this in the other copies at all. This is a 2 for 7. That's a great rate specifically for this set. But I don't want to give them a toughness token so that their blocks are better on a better turn than Who's the Tough Guy. So like probably fine for limited play. There's 0 chance that we see this in constructed. There's just better things that we could be doing with our time. Although good rate, 2 for 7. That's great. That's Ira's CNCs, but her CNC does not give them a toughness token. Her CNC says no defense reactions and break their arsenal. So like, there's certainly something to be said there. Next we got Cheers. 0 cost blue. It's a revered action aura. Blocks for 3. It says go again. So when you play it, you can play another card afterwards. When this enters or leaves the arena, the crowd cheers you. At the start of your turn, destroy this. What a quick and easy way to play Cheers, get the crowd on your side, and then all of your if you've been cheered abilities start, as well as on the next turn you will also be Cheers. This card feels like a 4 or 3 of in both of the revered heroes that can play it. You just slam 4 of these, or 3 of these. Sorry, one of my other games we play 4 of them. You just slam 3 of these in your deck and you go about your business. There's not much to be said. We want to be cheered. We're going to be cheered. Heroic Grit. Love the black eye. It's yellow, 0 cost, revered action, blocks for 2. Your next attack this turn gets +1 for each toughness token you control. Create a toughness token, period. Go again. So on those turns oh, here's a fun question for you. If I lose the toughness tokens, does it lose the might? This is my inexperience with the game showing through. You ready? So here's my question for everybody at home. I play Heroic Grit. The next attack you turn is +1 for each toughness token you control. Create a toughness. So I've got my 1 toughness token. I then come all the way back to the secret rare or the super rare that says win this dex, if you control a toughness token, create 3. Oh, I guess this doesn't say break a toughness token. It just says if you control 1, create 3 more. So this would just be a 2 for 10. Okay, my brain said that if I destroy a toughness token and make 3, is it still 4? But Heroic Grit does not actually care about that. Would still love to know the answer of does it go does it have 1 because of the original one you created and then you destroyed it, so it goes to 0, then up to 3 because you now have 3? Or does it see the 1, it gets destroyed, Heroic Grit doesn't care, you've made 3 more? There it is. I guess it would just be you don't control them and you don't control this one anymore. So it'd just be the 3. I think I answered my own question. I'm leaving all this in the video. I don't care. Heroic Pose! Another set of cards. Revered Action. So 1 cost. Your next attack this turn gets +1. The crowd cheers you. Go again. Love this, especially in the crowd cheers you matters. It's a very easy way. You could just like cheer 3 or 4 times, and we've seen previous cards that say if you're blocking for 6 on a 3 block card, this is the way to do it. Is we just like pitch a blue, we go heroic pose, play a thing, especially with like as we look at like a play that like Tough Nut could do, right? Like if everything lines up or a Magic Christmas land, I pitch with Toughness ability for the 3 resources, and I go heroic pose into an attack. I've cheered 3 times, I've made 3 toughness tokens, and then I've got +6 to my move, plus whatever the thing that I'm swinging is. Like there's a lot of cool ideas that you could have here, depending on what options you have when it comes to the attack. But again, Magic Christmas Land. Is this one going to be index? It depends on how much you need to be cheered. How much positive reinforcement do you need? From here, Humble Entrance. The blue cost, 0 cost, Revered Action. Blocks for 2. It says create 3 toughness tokens. Go again. Love it. I think this is totally fine card. It says I will play this card now to say that all my cards block exceptionally well later. No cheering involved, which I think is interesting because like this card's like very similar to it of like create toughness token. But you could be like Heroic Grit into Humble Entrance and then pop off with a thing, and then like you got 4 toughness tokens on the back end. So like there's a world where like this is a little 2-card tactic that just like feels really rock solid. +4 on mine, and then +4 damage on my next move, and then +4 to every action card that I block with. Seems pretty okay. From here we've got Darling of the Crowd. Excuse me. It is a yellow block card, blocks for 3. While this is defending, if you've been cheered this turn, it gets +1. So it's a yellow that blocks for 4 if your deck is working correctly. Seems okay. Seems all right. I don't know if it's gonna see a ton of play in Constructed, but I think it's probably pretty decent inside of Sealed, inside of Limited. It's probably fine. You got to figure out how to get cheered. I think that's the big puzzle for a lot of these characters. Not So Mighty, another block card. Tons of block cards. I guess he has to put them in the set because of confidence counters or confidence tokens. It's a 3. It's a blue. Blocks for 2. It is a block. When this defends a reviled hero's attack, destroy a might token they control. If you do, create a toughness token. Again, very good in Sealed. Only blocks for 2, but it's got a really powerful on-block ability, specifically versus these reviled heroes. Iron Fist Revelation. Guard equipment, arms, legendary piece of equipment. Blocks for 2, has temper. So when the combat chain closes, if it's defended, put a -1 counter on it. If you do this a second time, if it goes down to 0, you destroy it. When this defends, you may turn a face-down card with Crush, which is a keyword in the game, in your arsenal face-up. If you do, put a +1 counter on it. So when I block with the Revelation, I kind of tip my hand and show you that this thing's coming, and it's going to hit a little bit harder. I think that this card is probably not as good as other Guardian arms, because it doesn't feel like it does a whole lot. But Guardians use crush attacks all the time. That's one of the big things, is they play these big, crazy crush attacks, and they have to deal 4 damage. And so eking over the edge and giving them that +1 counter might just be the thing that, like, wins you the matchup. It truthfully depends. And then from here, we've got some Guardian legs. Action. Pay 3, destroy this, create a confidence token. I know I've got a vigor token. I used the wrong token. I'm so sorry. Activate this only if you control an aura of suspense. So it feels like it's almost exclusively a a revered hero ability. The fact that it's revered and reviled and they're so close to each other is like crazy. But I'm sure that we're going to see some more suspense auras because these are not revered guardian equipment. It's not. So we'll move on. No tall tales. Period. I guess we saw a suspense aura with the reviled stuff. So it's not just the revered heroes that have suspense. I'm sure it's gonna be all of them. No tall tales. Yellow line, 0 diff, swings for 3, blocks for 3. If this has greater, if this is as attack greater than its base, it gets +1 attack. Okay. Tower. If it has 13 or more power, it gets, when it hits a hero, cards they lose, the cards they own lose and can't gain go again during the next action phase. This is so interesting. So there's a crush ability that is like this, but it very much is in the vein of the crush attack is harder to play. It doesn't cost 0. It starts at a significantly higher number of damage. Starts at like 9. And then has the crush ability that says it's got to deal 4 or more to get its ability to happen. This is if you can get this 3 damage move to 13, essentially giving it +9 because if its power is greater than its base, it gets +1. So there it is. It doesn't have crush. It has if it leaks any damage at all, you lose and can't gain it. And so like the difficulty does not come in on the attack action itself, but on the setup for the attack actions. You have to have other things to make the tower work. But then if this hits at all, if it does 13, if it does any damage at all, which is so hard to block more than 13. It's so hard to block 13 or more. You lose go again, can't gain it. It's very good. It's very, very good if you can figure out the puzzle. And it's a big puzzle to jump through. In my personal head, I'm like, I have no idea how you do this. I ain't got a clue. In the palm of your hand, it is a red line, 2 diff, guardian instant aura, 3 block. It has suspense. When it enters or leaves the arena, draw 1 card. Love this. It's essentially a 2-for-1 gold because I will pay my 2. I will have it enter. When it enters, I will redraw a card. And then when it leaves, I'll draw an extra card. Seems neat. Seems like a really cool way to spend your 2 mana very efficiently. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. And for Pallades, who's on the card, what a great card that you're down to rip suspense counters off of to get that draw a little bit quicker. Cut a long story short. Yellow line, 0 diff, swings for 3, 3 block. If it has greater than its base, it gets +1. Tower, if it's got 13 more power, it gets, when this hits a hero, they discard their hand, period. They lose their entire turn. Cut a long story short, hey, if this hits you at all, lose your whole next turn. Wow. Wow, what a crazy card this is. What a crazy card this is. It essentially is just asking for their entire hand, but then with things like Dominate and Confidence tokens, it says that they can't actually give you their whole hand to block with, so they're just going to be losing their whole turn, and then you'll redraw. And then you maybe could just, like, play another action pump, cut a long story short, and swing. What happens? Seems very cool. Seems like a cool way to play the game. Cut off at the knees. Yellow line, 0 cost, 3 attack, blocks for 3. If this is greater than its base, it gets +1. If it has 13 or more, gets, when this hits a hero, destroy the top 3 cards of their deck. Interesting. I'm not I'm not. I don't think destroying cards out of their deck is that relevant, but I will say part of the Guardian's identity is fatigue. And so if there was a way for like destroy the top cards of your deck to matter, I guess in the Guardian deck it's fine. But if I'm getting this thing to 13 and then swinging, like, it doesn't feel like my game plan is fatigue. It feels like my game plan is killing you. And so it's tough to ask the question of how relevant is cut off at the knees. It's tough to ask. Cut the small talk. Yellow line, 0 diff, 3 for 3. Love these stat lines. This has greater damage than basics, +1. It has tower. When it hits a hero, destroy all auras they control. Feels very good at getting rid of the toughness that they built up, the might that they built up. Feels very good, but again, 13 is a very tall order. So if you can find 13, you should get paid out. I dig it. Hungry for more. Red line, 1 diff, 2 block, instant guardian aura. Suspense, when this enters the arena with the 2 counters. When it leaves the arena, gain 3. Cool to suck suspense counters from. Probably not great. I guess like there's a world where, like, if you've got triple hungry for more in your hand and a blue line, and you're like, I'll pitch this blue and play triple hungry for more and then pass, you gain 9, which is like a lot of health. Like, it's a lot of health, not to mention like attacks that you can block with or whatever. But it's not an exciting card, to say the least. Not an exciting card. Maybe if it works in tactically with the other suspense stuff, I could see it being played, but not for me, I think. Turn heads. Great art on this one. Blue line, 3 diff, suspense, guardian aura, instant, 3 block. When this leaves the arena, tap target brute hero. They don't untap during their next end phase. But currently, the only hero that cares about this is just KO. And so you can just say, this is like a 1 card out to KO. Because we don't necessarily care about the other brute heroes tapping. The only time where this would matter is if for some reason they have discarded and made themselves a Gold Kiss Rum to give their moves go again, which is relevant. There's I've seen a lot of brute decks doing this. Sea Legs, I think, is the name of the card. It's a 6 damage move, so like it triggers all the cool brute stuff. But because this is a suspense card, they will see it coming, which means either you have to get really lucky with the turn heads and like oh, you found it on the turn before they got the Sea Legs and so then they can't use it or whatever, or they're just going to see it coming and use their character, right? If it was when this enters and leaves do it, it would be too good. But it feels like right now it's barely a silver bullet to KO. Because all it stops KO from doing is like pumping his moves to 6. So like, maybe it's relevant enough, maybe, but it doesn't stop him from getting the counters or getting the vigor tokens. It doesn't stop it at all. I don't know. Cards not where it's at for me at this current moment. It could be one of those cards that sneaks up later as we get more cool brute cards that tap. Who blinks first? Blue line, 3 diff, guardian instant aura, blocks for 3, suspense. When this leaves the arena, you may destroy an aura permanent that a guardian hero controls. This is so cool because this is one of those ones that your game plan, looking at Pallades, is if they don't have an aura, you want to keep suspense counters on it until they get an aura that you can have the suspense counter leave and then destroy it. And so like you constantly have to be feeding this one to keep it on the stage until they have something that's relevant to make them blink, which is cool, which is a cool game plan. Seems a little inconsistent, also very much targeting guardians, but could be relevant enough, right? Like imagine breaking Avalda's seismic token. They go from a 3 down to 2, and now they don't break and get dominate. Like, that's a crazy good use of who blinks first. That's a very good use of that ability. Full of Bravado. It's a set 3 diff, 7, 6, 5 damage, blocks for 2. When this attacks or defends, if you control an aura of suspense, create a confidence token. Great little 2-card tactic to say that on your next turn, your moves are going to be a little harder to interact with. I like Full Bravado a lot. I think that the blue line is probably where I'm at. I think 3 for 5 that says that is a good setup card is good enough. Even though it does only block for 2. I think it's a very cool setup card that I'm a fan of. It just says that it is good. Maybe not in Pallades, but it might be good enough in the other Guardians if you're trying to play an Aura of Suspense build. I think Full Bravado is worth it. Story Beats. It's another set of cards. 3 difficulty. 7, 6, 5 damage, blocks for 2. When this attacks or defends, you may move a suspense counter on or remove one from an aura that you control. So you either put it on one or take one off. It does not do the Pallades thing where it moves one. So take one off, put one on. This card is probably fine. 3 cost is a lot for the amount of damage that this is pumping out. So 3 for 5 at the blue line is probably not that great. 3 for 6 at a yellow line, it's probably not that great. 3 for 7, all it does is only tactically works with the suspense counters. Like leaving more cards on the suspense counters probably feels good. Taking more cards off of specific suspense feels pretty good. Again, I think it's all going to be dependent on what suspense auras do you have on the board, and the fact that it only blocks for 2 does feel kind of bad, especially in the Guardian class where like they're known for being big blocky characters. From here we've got Bash Brute. Saw a very similar one of these inside of the Brute look at. Red line, 3 difficulty, 7 damage, blocks for 2. When it's defended by a Brute card, it gets +1. When it hits a Brute hero, destroy an aura token they control. If your locals are playing a ton of Brutes, I think this is a very funny card to put in there to be like, you gotta play somebody else. But otherwise, I think like in high competitive play, probably not where it's at. Probably really fun in this card Sealed. From here, Familiar Story. I love that the flavor text on this card is way more than the ability. It's very funny. Red line, 3 diff, 7 damage, blocks for 2. When 1 or more Guardian cards defend this, create a confidence token. Makes sense. Man, the art on this is like so cool to like look at like what is happening in here. The myth makers take on the Fury Fists. Now there's a feud powerful enough to fuel the machines of my Iron Coliseum. Whoa, that's cool. That's really cool. I'm just like, here's its two fighting clans. That's neat. No, I'm not gonna play this one. I'm a Guardian. I gotta be fighting another Guardian, and it's probably just like not good enough to like make a confidence token. I'll find some other way to do it. I'll find some other way. Power Play. This card's really interesting. It's a set card, 3 diff, 3/2/1 attack, blocks for 3. Says if it was played from Arsenal, it gets +5 damage. So it's a red line, 3 for 8 if played from Arsenal, and Guardian loves playing cards from Arsenal. I think this card is totally chill. I think this card is totally chill. I think the only issue that I would see with this card is like if there's any cards in the game that say cards can't gain damage from their own ability, which I think Snag says that cards can't gain damage due to their own ability. Or unless Snag says they can't gain damage from other abilities. We will look at it soon. It is in the set. But yeah, this card is neat. This card is neat. I don't know if it's going to see much play, but I like the shape of this card. And I think that cards like this in the Guardian class are very cool. Are very, very cool. Because if I'm desperate and you've got one last card in your hand, I somehow got going again or whatever, I could pay the 3 and like swing for 3 and be like, you gotta give me another card. But if I can set up and wait and take my time, it's a 3 for 8, which is a good rate from all of these cards. From here, we've got Shoot Your Mouth Off. It's another set of cards. 3 difficulty, 876. Now we're talking. These are big numbers. Damage. Blocks for 2. When the combat chain closes, if this didn't hit, the defending hero creates a confidence token. So, if it didn't deal damage, the next attack this turn is harder for me to interact with. But if it didn't deal damage, it means that you utilized cards from your hand. So, like, I think that the yellow and red makes sense here, because I'll block with 2 cards. I'll still take the 1, and then you don't get the confidence counter. Or I block with 3 cards, you get the confidence counter, and then what does your turn look like? Like, what does your turn look like? It's tough. It's a tough spot to be in. It really just depends on how much you care about 3 for 8s, and that's what matters. Short Strife? Short Shrift? Shrift. Short Shrift. I've never seen this word shrift before. I don't know. That might be it. I'm not sure. It's a yellow line, 0 for 3, 3 block. If it's got greater than its base, it gets +1. Crush, when it deals 4 or more damage to a hero, they discard a card. Very tough to make this crush effect go off because it starts at 3 whole damage. But if you can figure out, if you can find the puzzle pieces, it feels very good. Probably feels better than these tower cards because finding 13 is way harder than finding 7, especially when it gives it +1. She's got to like find 3 more of a damage pump, which I'm sure that we can find, right? 3 of a damage pump and then 3 of itself, +1 from itself. Like, and they block with 1 card. Seems okay. Seems like a decent way to do it. From here, we got Small Problems. Another one of these crush cards. Yellow line, 0, 3 for 3. Crush, when it deals 4 or more damage to a hero, destroy an aura they control. Makes sense. Kind of the same line as other Guardian cards that we have seen previously. This is fine. Again, if you're trying to play this a really low to the ground kind of idea for Guardian, I think this is a really neat one to go with. Up next, we've got Wee Wrecking Ball, yellow line, 0 diff, 3 damage for 3. This has greater base than a thing. It gets +1. Crush, when it deals 4 or more damage to a hero, destroy a card in their arsenal. Now we're talking. I can figure out how to get this 0 diff up to 7 damage. It becomes a 1 card just CNC. You gotta full block it, and then its power is greater than CNC. So like you have to really try to interact with Wee Wrecking Ball. This card I think is gonna see a ton of play, as long as you are down to set up the line of how do I get a bunch of extra might tokens or damage pumps or whatever for Wee Wrecking Ball to work. Up next, we've got Act of Glory, another suspense card that costs a ton here. It's a full set. It's a 4 difficulty. So Guardian Aura instant, blocks for 3, has suspense. When this attack leaves the arena, your next attack this turn gets +6, +5, +4 damage, depending on the color. This card's dope. Card's really cool if you can figure out how to get Vigor tokens, or like you've got a fully blue hand. Like even taking and like dumping a blue hand, like 2 blues to play out an Act of Glory as an instant, and then like use that last 2 to do something proactive, like play an attack or whatever. Like feels really cool. But like giving your move 2 turns from now +6 damage seems really, really cool, as long as, again, you can pay for that 4. That 4 is a tough thing to swallow. Up next, we've got Dramatic Pause. It's a full set, 0 difficulty. Guardian Aura does not have a block, has suspense. When this enters the arena, target defending action card gets +3, +2, or +1 this chain link. This is so interesting because it feels like this card is there to do the plus to the block, and then it's here for suspense farming for Pallades. I will suspense farm, give a little bit of extra blocking, and then move suspense counters over to keep these auras alive, because this card isn't doing anything on the board anymore except for having suspense counters on it. So let's farm these over to auras that I would rather have and just like get this back off the board. Next, we've got Edge of Their Seats. It's another set. It's a 3 difficulty. Suspense. When this leaves the arena, your next attack this turn gets +5, +4, +3, respectively. Blocks for 3. Very similar to Act of Glory, but like 1 less for 1 less cost. Makes sense to me. Probably a little bit easier to play, I would imagine, as it only costs 3. It costs a singular blue to activate this one rather than the other, but like the difference between 4 damage and 3 damage at the blue line says that the difference between a potential break point. So it just depends on how can we find the relevant text to make this to make these worth it. How do I pay for the cards? And that'll be determined which ones you want to use. Tension in the Air. Another set, 2 difficulty, Guardian instant aura, blocks for 3, has suspense. When this leaves the arena, the next attack this turn gets 4, 3, 2. So we have a 4 cost, a 3 cost, and a 2 cost that are all diminishing by 1. The first one started at 6, 5, 4. Next one is 5, 4, 3. This one is 4, 3, 2. I'm probably a big fan of the Edge of Their Seat because of the 3 cost plus 5 rather than 2 cost plus 4. But 2 costs for +4 later on in the turn is probably okay. I don't think that I would play the blue Tension in the Airs. Probably just the red ones. Maybe I could get away with the yellow ones, depending on what my lines look like. But it's probably just the red Tensions. From here, the suspense is killing me. The blue line 0 diff Guardian instant aura with a 2 block has suspense on it. So while it's on the arena, your first attack each turn gets +1 damage. Very good for all of these. We've seen tower cards utilizing confidence tokens, any sort of dominate, just like giving a little bit of extra power. And the fact that it's an instant, it can be played after blocks are declared. So if they block out my move completely, you just goes, the suspense is killing me, it gets +1 damage, I will leak something through. And then this is one of those auras that you are constantly, as Pallades, going to be constantly moving counters over and over and over again to keep it on the board, because just like every turn that's around, it's +1 free value, +1 free value, +1 free value that you paid 0 for. It's very good. It's very, very good. As well as To Be Continued. Another blue line 0 instant aura, blocks for 2, has that suspense. The first time you would be dealt damage each turn, prevent 1 of that damage. Are you tired of getting stabbed by Kodachis or flick knives or whatever? This is just, you essentially, for as long as you can keep suspense counters, you have 1 free soul shield, not soul shield, 1 free aura, whatever the prism aura is, prismatic shield. Is that it? No, that's not it. That's a different one. It makes the auras. Whatever. You have an extra health every single turn. And it's just like the first time you be dealt damage each turn, prevent that 1 damage. So there is ways for your rival to cheese it, but like even like they play a 7 damage move, I block for 6. To Be Continued covers up that 7th. Seems pretty good. From here we have What Happens Next. 0 difficulty, Guardian instant aura is that blue line, blocks for 2. Suspense. The first card with cost 1 or more you play each turn costs 1 less to play. This is an insane tactic with Act of Glory. It now is going to cheapen all of these Act of Glories from being 4 diffs now down to 3 diffs. And so as a 2-card tactic, you can What Happens Next into Act of Glory and then feed the Act of Glory counters onto the What Happens Next, and it's that much more potent. And it does say each card that costs 1 or more you play each turn costs 1 less to play, which does mean on my rival's turn. So if I have any heavy costed defense reactions, if I'm not playing the 0 for 4 defense reactions, I'm playing more heavy-handed Guardian defense reactions, they can exist here as well. Very, very good card to to have in the deck. I think this might just be the best aura that exists, because as long as I can keep this aura alive, my hands are so much cheaper because of how everything works. Very good. Up next we have Sit. It is a red line guardian block, blocks for 2. When this defends a brute attack, it gets +3. Again, if you hate brutes, if your brutes are your least favorite class, I think this card is very good. But otherwise, it's just a funny picture. It's like, this is very, very funny. I actually love the attention to detail of like the chipped thumbnail here. Kind of like hurts my thumb looking at it. But this is a funny card. It's not a very good card. But hey, again, if you hate brutes, we got it for you. Lastly, we've got 4 pieces of equipment. How could I forget? Tiara of Suspense, Revered Guardian Equipment, Head, instant destroy this, put a suspense counter on an aura of suspense you control, activate this only if you've cheered this turn. I mean, this is just keeping your things around longer, which makes sense. And then Guardwell blocks for 1, or blocks for 2, and then probably gonna lose all its counters. When this defends, you may remove a suspense counter from an aura you control. If you do, gain 2 resources. This is for playing out more instant auras, as well as any sort of defense reaction block tricks you could possibly have. The fact that it has Blade Break is pretty dope. It was like a world where like Virtuoso Bodice combined with it's not what happens next, I think. It's the one that says your first deck or first card each turn gets -1. You're like Staunch Defense or whatever that card is, like a 3-cost Guardian block. So like this is the 2, and then the difficulty reduction to then like play this card out. So like it's a very easy like 2-card massive block. You didn't actually have to pay for anything. It's just like losing a suspense counter. Attention Grabbers. When this defends, you remove a suspense counter from an aura you control. If you do, it gets +2. This chain link helps you with making your aggro auras pop sooner, and then it like gives you a little bit of an extra. It's like this one blocks for 3. And then Boots to the boards. When this defends, you can pay up to 3, create that many toughness tokens. We've seen this before, but this has temper, so when you use it, it doesn't instantly. You can do it twice. It says like you can get 6 toughness off the singular card, which is very good. And there it is. There is this video. Super Slam looks dope. It looks really, really exciting. If you liked the Super Slam and you liked my my previews, or if you have any thoughts or opinions on the things that I said, or like got any rulings wrong or whatnot, please let me know down in the comments down below, and /or come and join over in the Discord. Let's have a conversation about your cool Super Slam decks and ideas and whatnot. If this was your first Tam Cardwell Super Slam video, make sure you go check out the other Super Slam first looks in the playlist, which will be available. And with that, thank you very much for watching, guys. This is super fun to record. We'll catch you all next time. Goodbye, everybody.